The cessation of the LIBOR index is an unprecedented event within the financial markets. LIBOR has been the industry benchmark for debt instruments for decades, and it's scheduled to be retired on June 30th. This means that debt securities still using LIBOR will have no published index to use for interest rate calculations, pricing, or valuations as of that June 30th deadline, unless they make a decision on a new rate index, which issuers and agents are in the process of doing. DTCC was asked by the industry to be the central point of communication for issuers and their agents to pass along these replacement index details to the investor community. The primary industry group leading this transition is the Alternative Reference Rates Committee, or ARC for short, and specifically the Operations and Infrastructure Subcommittee of the ARC, often called the ARC-OI. DTCC worked with ARC, as well as issuers and their agents and trustees, as well as other industry organizations and experts, and developed a centralized process to capture the benchmark replacement information in a structured way and to further disseminate it to the market. DTCC, by the way, has published 2 other videos that explain in more detail both the context behind the LIBOR cessation, as well as the process for issuers and agents to submit that replacement benchmark information into DTCC. If you are interested in either of those topics, be sure to check out those videos. In this readiness webinar, we'll discuss how DTCC is centralizing and structuring that replacement benchmark information submitted by the issuers and their agents, and how we are further disseminating it to the market. The solution allows for the structured fielding of descriptive reference data, and this enables both efficient manual as well as machine-to-machine communication, instead of having individuals review complex legal documents to determine this information. There are numerous benefits to using DTCC's enhanced lens solution. It follows industry best practices, and it is the recommended market solution. You can be confident in the data and that it will help you understand the interest rate calculations of the securities with the benchmarks that are replacing LIBOR. First, the solution has a safe and secure point of entry. The online web form that issuers use to submit the data into DTCC is protected through several security protocols so that you can be confident that the information being communicated is sound. There is a single user interface, so the LIBOR replacement for all securities is communicated in one centralized location through a web interface. It was designed with the industry, so the interface and the fields within it, as well as the output, have all been vetted and agreed upon through various industry working group sessions. The data is standardized, so the format of the fields and how they will be used have all been agreed to and are efficient for both manual interpretation as well as machine-to-machine communication. And lastly, there are options for flexible output. So you can choose which format you would like to receive the data in, including a file, API, or an online browser. On this slide, you see a sample of the data elements available with the service. Some data elements depend on whether the replacement rates are SOFR or alternative rates, but the fields can include fallback rate index, fallback rate tenor, look-back days, spread adjustment amount, spread methodology, and the first non-LIBOR reset date. You can see additional fields listed here, and there are additional fields not listed here that you can find in the published data dictionaries. In terms of accessing the data, you have 2 options. You can use DTCC's LENS service, which stands for Legal Notice System. It's an online web browser and is ideal for manual lookup of information. So it could be an ideal service for you if you don't have a vast amount of securities you need to look up. The second option is you can subscribe to an auto route file, which is a machine-to-machine file that can be delivered via FTP or NDM. And this is ideal for higher volumes and automation. In terms of the data elements available, LENS and the AutoRoute file both have the same structured data elements that we reviewed a couple of moments ago. There is no difference in the data structure. The LENS browser may contain any PDFs that the issuers have provided. I do want to mention that the service will contain securities that are submitted by issuers, whether or not those securities are eligible at DTC. This is the support feedback that we got from the industry. So there will be an indicator that will let you know whether or not the security is DTC eligible, and either way, it will be published. So the securities published are not limited to only DTCC eligible securities. In terms of timing of the data delivery, if you subscribe to Lens, you can go on the online browser at your convenience, and the data is updated in real time as it's submitted by the issuers and the agents. If you take the auto route file, it's published 3 times a day, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you don't yet have a solution for obtaining the LIBOR replacement rates, bear in mind the June 30th deadline, and that time is running short. If you think the solutions discussed today may be a good fit, you can visit DTCC's LIBOR transition page for more information. You can also submit an inquiry to reach a client support member who can then contact you and continue the discussion and support you as you onboard with the service. You can also consider the number of securities that you need replacement information for to gauge whether Lens or the auto route file may be a better option for you. And our client support team can help you as well. I'd like to leave you with this list of resources. Depending on your interest, you can find the data dictionaries, information on Lens, and the technical specifications for the auto route file. Don't hesitate to contact the client support team for more information and to move forward.